Well, welcome back to Scouting for History. So I'm back here at this house from 1905 with the ancient oak tree. And after talking to the guy who lost his ring, he said he lost it down here near the garage. Now this is a yard I didn't do very well because the woman told me it was in a different yard. They have like 6 yards here. But down here was the dump. I spent a little time here last time, but there's so much trash. It was difficult getting a good signal, and I was digging lots and lots of trash, so I moved on to the yard that the woman said she thought he lost it in. But now I'm back today. Let's see if we can't find this ring and some good stuff. On to the next. So back in 1682, William Penn arrived in the New World, and it was filled with old-growth forests, and that's why he picked the name he did. If you saw one of my previous episodes, Pennsylvania was a mistake. He wanted to call it Sylvania, but when the king told the scribes to write up the charter for Pennsylvania, they wrote it up as Pennsylvania. Now, before long, they started cutting down trees and building houses and ships and building farms and all kinds of things, and the old-growth trees started to go away. By the early 1900s, there weren't many left. So a botanist in Philadelphia wrote a book in the early 1900s, and he called old-growth trees Penn Trees. He coined the term, and he went around New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and the eastern shore of Maryland, cataloging trees that were over 300 years at the time. So trees that would have been here when Penn was here. And nobody really took much note of it until it was close to the 300th anniversary, 1982. So in 1977, another group of botanists got together, created a commission, and they spent thousands of hours going through the woods of the 4 states looking for trees that were Penn trees, and they found 177 of them. This is one of them. This one is pushing 400 years old. 50 years ago in 1977, when it was declared a Penn tree, they estimated it was close to 350. So now it's got to be close to 400, and it's still doing well. But a lot of the trees are no longer around, sadly, but this one is hanging on. Let's go see what we can find. Stay tuned. And now a little suspender clip thing. On to the next. Well, not the right ring shaped thing. On to the next. And now a key. On to the next. Well, it's not his ring, but it's another Washington quarter. That's cool. On to the next. And again, down here in the dump, all kinds of old things, old broken things, tossed away. On to the next. And now a broken piece of harmonica reed. Common find. On to the next. Well, I got a signal here. It was just a piece of trash, but in the hole was this porcelain piece. I think it's an insulator of some kind for wiring. Not sure. On to the next. Well, it's slow going because I'm digging every signal looking for this ring. And there's a broken spoon. On to the next. Well, lots of signals down here in the dump, and now there's an airplane. On to the next. Well, not much of an old airplane, but that's what it was at one time. On to the next. And now another pretty common find. It's an old drawer pull. Fancy. On to the next. And now a keyhole scutcheon. That was for a skeleton key. Big one. On to the next. And now a tiny little hinge. On to something better. Now a nickel. On to the next. Now an old tag. I think it's a dog tag. We'll see what year it is. On to the next. I thought for sure I had an Indian, but it's a really green wheat penny. Oop. I'll clean it up. You'll see it right here. On to the next. Well, this episode brought to you by the number 4. On to the next. And now down here in the ivy, I thought it was something, I thought it was just a scrap of copper, but I see Abe Lincoln on there. I'll clean up and see if I can't figure it out. Curious. On to the next. I think it's a bullet. It's definitely lead. But maybe not. It's got like a chisel point. Very odd. On to the next. Well, a nice little coin spill. A buffalo and a wheat penny. No silver, but I'll take it. On to the next. Well, I'm back here in the dump, trying to limit my search to ring signals, gold ring signals. It'd be 25 to 39, 40, but all kinds of little doodads and junk, but no ring so far. Let's keep going. And now a really deep shell casing. On to the next. Well, that's going to do it for today's adventure. Not a bad day, but not as good as the first day, but hey, you get what you get, and that's what you get. So on to the next. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. We'll see you then.